second here. Okay, so we are recording. Okay, again, good afternoon, everybody. And this session is going to include a lot of things, or a few things, to try to catch up on getting some information out to you all that you hopefully can use. And I also want to address the fact that hybrid learning is on the we're on the eve of the hybrid learning. And with the next cohort coming in, we're going to need to be on top of what hybrid learning is. So I wanted to give you some resources associated with that so that everybody can start thinking about what that's going to look like in your classrooms. And I want to preface that by saying that at this point in time, everybody should be going back and looking at your virtual instruction and how that is looking right now, and based on what you have learned over time, and making whatever adjustments that you need to make in order for that to be even better going forward. So we always need to be evaluating and reevaluating what we're doing, especially in this virtual situation, moving forward. And then we will add in what the hybrid is going to look like, or what we kind of think it should look like. So before we talk about hybrid, I'm trying not to go over the 4 o'clock deadline. So so somebody keep me in check there with the time. I don't want to go over, because I want to be mindful of your time. I'm going to present my screen right now so that you can see what I see. And let's see. Okay, can everybody see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, good. Everybody can make sure everybody can see. Okay. All right. So today, what we're going to be looking at is a couple of things, a few things. First of all, some of these are very quick, and some of these may take a little time. But I'm going to go through these. The first one is creating a linkable meeting code. So everybody should be using Google Meet codes for your classes, and you should have submitted those by now. But what I'm going to show you is a quick way to make that code into a link, so that you can, in Canvas, put it, link it to a image or a button, so that somebody coming into your class, all they have to do is click on the button and it take you right to the meeting. Okay, so that's the first item. The second one is an intro to the Meet attendance extension. And this has been long in coming, because I've had folks play with this. I know there might be some people that are already using it, but I think we can try it, and you all can give me some feedback in terms of what you think, and in using it going forward to help you with attendance. And if it's something that you want to use, that's fine. If it's something that you look at and you say no, and that's fine too. But I want to put it out there because the potential to help you with your attendance is higher than the risk. The next item is the Intro to Technology Resources Canvas course, which is basically my course that I'm going to be putting out probably tomorrow. Where I'm going to be housing all of the resources for instructional technology that I come across in the videos that I put up. All of that is going to be housed in this course going forward. Okay. And then we're going to talk about design and some things you can look at as you are reevaluating what you're doing virtually. So we're going to talk about that. And then we're going to jump into hybrid and some resources for hybrid. And then I'll take any questions that you have on either what I'm going over or any other topics or any questions that you have, that you want to throw out there while you got me here. Okay. So everybody understand where we're going with this? All right. Try to keep it simple and to the point. Okay, so changing your Google Meet code into a link. Simple, to the point. Y'all see this link right here? Everybody see that?
Yes, sir.
Okay. All right. All you do is where you see Meet code right here, you replace Meet code with your code. Everybody clear? For all of your codes for each of your classes that you have, you can change it to a link just by replacing Meet code with your code. And then what you can do is you can use that link and link it to an image in Canvas and so forth and so on, or a button in Canvas and so forth and so on. When the student click on that link, on that image, it will take them to your. All right. So everybody understand? You make this link, you make that Meet code linkable, and then you can link it to an image or a button in Canvas, and then they click on that. That'll take them right to the Meet. Okay. Any questions about that? Does everybody know how to link to images? I got the silence going on.
I do not. Our microphones are muted.
Yeah, I know. But you can feel free to comment or use the chat. Okay. And anybody that needs some additional help on that, just grab me, and that's no problem. I can show you how to do it. All right. The next item is the Meet attendance extension. How many people already got this? Okay.
I do.
Okay. All right. Okay. I got you. All right. So what I'm going to do is show you what it is first, and then I'm going to demonstrate it. Okay. All right. So the Google Meet attendance. Here are the instructions for how to set this up. And basically what it does is once you have it installed, you can set it up so that when students come into your class, into your Google meeting, it will record when they enter the meeting and when they leave the meeting. And it will do that via Google Sheet. Okay. So I'm going to put the link to these instructions in the chat so you can get them. Okay, does everybody see that in the chat?
Yes.
Okay, so those are the instructions. Now, you go to the Chrome Web Store, and you should right here see Add to Chrome if you don't have it. And you will click on that, and that will add it to your Chrome. Now, once you do that, then you will see a little apple. See this little icon right here? You'll see this up in your Chrome bar, extension bar going across up here. And So I want to demonstrate that right now. So I'm going to stop sharing this tab for the moment so I can get the whole screen. Okay, so everybody should be able to see my screen now. And I'm going to enter another Google Meet. But you see right here at the top, there's your Meet attendance. Once you have installed it using, install the extension, you'll see the little icon up here at the top. I'm gonna go into Meet and create a new meeting. Okay. And I'm going to join the meeting. Actually, before I join the meeting, let me do this. Okay. Once I get to the Google Meet, meet.google.com, I want to go up here to the little icon. Now you see that before it was gray. Now it's activated. So you can see it will only turn on when you go to meet.google.com. Okay. And so you click on it before you go into the meeting. You click on it and you see Meet attendance options. And all this is in the document. You click on that, and then you have two things that you have to do. One is you want to switch it on. So you click on that little switch, and that will switch it on. And the other thing is you can click on Add a new sheet, and it will create a new spreadsheet. Okay. And then you set. And then you want to go ahead and join the meeting. So I'm going to just create a meeting right here and join now. Okay. So now when you click on your people, when you want to show everyone that's in the meeting, you click on that. And you notice that there's a little box with a check in the center of it. This is your Meet attendance icon that's added to your meeting details here, okay? And it is already starting to take the attendance. So as people come into your meeting or into your class, it will automatically record them as they come in. You can also force that by clicking off that or closing that and clicking on Show Everyone again. Every time you click on Show Everyone, it will collect that data as people are coming in, because you never know, you might have some students coming in late, so you may want to pick them up. But you want to make sure you get them before the end of the class, before you end the class, okay, and before they get out of the class. Okay, but it does this automatically. Now, if you want to see the sheet, all you got to do is click on this little box that's got a check. And it will open up the actual spreadsheet, and you will see participants. You will see what the date and the time that they joined and left, and how long they were in the meeting. Okay, and down here you will have tabs showing previous meetings. Okay, like this one right here is a tab for the meeting that we're currently in. You can see everybody's in there and what time you came in, what time you left, and how long you've been in here so far. Okay. Now you don't have to keep refreshing. As long as you do the preliminary stuff, that's what I've just found out for those of you who've already got it. As long as you do that preliminary piece where you go in there, go in here and click on the icon at the beginning before you go into the meeting, and you do that setup. You do that setup, it will automatically collect that data without you having to keep refreshing it. Okay. All right. But this is the data that it collects. Okay. And then at the end, you can take that data and then do what you need to do with it, transfer it manually, put it into Synergy or what have you. Okay. But hopefully that will help you with the attendance. Okay. Just knowing that this thing is sitting there collecting the data, you don't have to worry about it. Now, there is the reason I haven't put it out there as quickly as I would have liked is because we had to play with it. We had to test it. I had a couple people test it and, report back bugs and things like that. And I played with it. So I think we are at a point where at least you can try it. Okay. And let me know if it's working for you or not. Any questions about that? All right. So I'm going to go back to this.
I'm sorry, Dr. Waller.
Yes, ma'am.
I do have some questions about that. So I do have the extension, but when I start my class, I don't see the apple. Like I don't have that icon.
Okay, if you go to up at the you talking about up at the top of the screen?
Yes.
Okay, do you see let me get back on I'm sharing. Okay. Do you see right here on my screen? You see where I'm pointing at?
Yes.
Do you have that little jigsaw puzzle piece?
Yes.
Okay, if you click on that and you go down that list until you see the Google Meet
Yes.
or Meet attendance, make sure that little pin, you click on that little pin to turn it blue.
Okay. And do I have to do that every day or?
No, just once.
Okay.
If you do it now, it should be there every time.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. I do see it.
Okay. So it's going to be there every time you go in there.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
No problem. All right.
Will it, excuse me, Dr. Waller, will it open up a fresh tab in the spreadsheet every time you restart that meeting?
Yeah. Every time you restart that meeting, it should open up and should create a new sheet.
Good, thank you.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I do have one more question. So you mentioned going into that you can access that when you go through meet.google.com and then it gives you the option to click on that icon. But what if you just go through your class link? Would you have that option to still click that icon? Because it doesn't show up when I just go straight through the link.
You go straight through.
Yeah, I already have a link set up to my class. So what you just talked about, the g.co,
Yep.
I click that.
Yeah.
Would it still access the?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Okay, any other questions before we move on? Okay. All right, so the next item here is the intro to the Canvas course that I'm putting together, and I just wanted to show it. So this is what it looks like, and I'll probably release it out tomorrow. You'll have the help, and you can see right here that, if you need support from me, you can go here, click on this little Bitmoji piece right here, and that'll bring you to the support information for me. And then if you click on this image, that'll take you right to the Google Meet. Y'all see that? Okay. And then all you have to do is join now. Okay. So that's how that new link that I just showed you at the beginning of the session, that's how that works when you link it up to an image. Okay. So going back to that, now I still have the other piece down right underneath this, which is if you want to schedule an appointment and you just go to the date and just do that like you normally do. Okay. So either way, if you have a quick question, you can jump into the virtual office. I try to have that on all day, but again, I can't be in front of the camera all day, if y'all know what I'm saying. Sometimes you have to step out. You have to take care of some business, things of that nature. So just let me know when you're gonna jump in. If you jump in, and I try to be in front of the camera. But most of the time it's on. All right. So that's there. And then I got some links here that, just for informational purposes. And there are going to be some other links that are going to be down here for resources. And then right here, I have a link to the 6 C's, just so that we are mindful of that. That's part of what we do also. And that's a big part of hybrid learning or flipped learning, is the 6 C's.
Justice to social.
As well as the 5 E's, which is the elaborate, engage, explain, explore, evaluate, which is kind of how you want to incorporate it into your modules and your assignments in Canvas. So here's some information on that and what it is. Okay. And then we have also, of course, I'm going to have my people on here. So this is kind of like the instructional designers for the district and their page. This is our page. And this is a link to show who's at what schools and so forth and so on. And it also has other information here up here. So that's just FYI for us, because most people don't know this information, that we have this many IDs in all the schools and what they do and so forth and so on. Okay, so we have that. And then, then I have, I've started some modules that are, some of them are open, some of them will not be open when you all get access to it, because I'm gonna be opening it in phases. But there's a lot of information that's gonna be here, that's gonna be coming. So just be aware of that. But this is where you're gonna come. Anything and everything that I'm gonna put out is gonna be in here. Videos, the whole 9, multimedia, as well as informational. Okay. All right, so now we're at the hybrid piece. So I'm not going to go through, I did put this presentation together, but I see now, well, I got about 20 minutes. So let me just go through a little bit of it quickly, and then I'll show you some things in Canvas that you'll have access to as part of this. Okay, so so the definition of flip is going from your traditional instruction or direct instruction to basically online. Well, not necessarily online, but individual. So where the student is basically doing the bulk of the work and you are facilitating what they're doing. Okay, that's flip. But there's a difference between flipping your class, and hybrid. Okay. So, and what this slide says is that you can use Canvas to facilitate hybrid flipped classrooms. Okay. And so I've already said what flipped is. So hybrid is where you have live instruction in the classroom because you have students that are going to be in your class. But at the same time, you're going to have also a group of students that's going to be virtual. So both in the same classroom. So you're going to have synchronous and asynchronous going on at the same time. Now, the problem with that is, how do you ensure that the virtual folks get the same instruction that the in-person folks get, the same quality of instruction. There's a equality issue there, okay? And the technology is one thing that will hopefully be the equalizer in that situation, okay? Because all of our students have Chromebooks, and provided that they work, you know, because sometimes they don't, but provided that they all work, whether they're virtual or whether they're in person, they're still going to have, they'll be able to, you can create lessons and activities associated with the curriculum that will be virtual based on what you're doing, just like what you're doing now. But because everybody's going to have a Chromebook, everybody can participate in the same activities. So that's where you equalize it. Okay, there are going to be some things that you can't, like the science folks, they won't be able to do labs virtually in most cases. So that's where you're going to have to do a rotational type of thing, where on the days that you got them in person, you do your labs. And then on the days while the virtual folks, they may be doing some other activities, and then you switch up. Okay, but that's how you got to start thinking about this thing. All right. Now, some of the learning model tools for hybrid, video conferencing. Of course, we got the learning management system, which is Canvas, online exercises, activities, online discussion forums, and pre-recorded video instruction. So mainly you're looking at video lessons that you're going to make available online for your students, as well as activities that you're going to use during direct instruction with all the students, or with the virtual students doing off to the side or outside of the live instruction. Okay. For synchronous, you got live direct instruction, forum sessions, and you know, discussions, as well as brainstorming activities and so forth. So those are the type of activities where you're facilitating direct instruction. You're talking to the students are giving you feedback. There's a back and forth going on, irregardless of whether they're in the classroom or online. Okay, so those are the type of activities that are recommended. So for asynchronous, again, you got online assignments and some tests, group conversation. And the nice thing about groups is, right, well, I don't know if it's nice or not, but we will, and you should be looking out in your Google Meet for the breakout piece, because that's coming. Okay, it could come at any time. You could open up your Google Meet tomorrow and have access to breakout rooms. Okay, and I'll do a separate video on that when the time comes, and post that up for you to look at. But keep in mind the same guideline coming from the district is that if you decide to do breakout rooms, you have to have adult supervision in any room that you have students in. And I don't know if it means you can jump back and forth and keep jumping back and forth. I don't think so, but that's the word from the top, is that you have to, those breakout rooms have to be supervised. But it's a nice way to group the students and do some alternative activities with them. I don't know. We would have to talk about it. There was, at one point we were talking about support staff helping out with that. So, like for instance, if you decide to group your kids and use breakout rooms in the activity, I could pop in and supervise a room, or you know, something like that. Okay, moving right along. Benefits, flexible synchronous, the freedom of independent academic exploration. So that's when the students are individualized and they're doing their own activities, and then they come back to the group and report. Provides for more efficient use of resources. Okay, but again, the Chromebook has to be the equalizer. I mean, that's, in order for the equity piece to be addressed among all the students and what they're getting from you as the teacher. Yes, I will. You will have access to this tomorrow when I share out the course. Okay. All right. So you have right here a diagram of the model for hybrid, and brick and mortar means in person. So you got in person, you got online here, and then you have all the different types of instruction that you would use depending on whether you are in person or online. And then all of this points to blended, but the only one of these that you're really going to use under the rotation model, which is flipped classroom. Okay. Now you may use rotation where you have several activities going on at one time, and this is where you would group your students, and you might have one group doing one activity, another group doing another activity, and then they switch from breakout room to breakout room, depending on which room they're in. They're doing a specific activity. Okay. So that's what they mean by rotation, and it could be flipped, or it could be direct instruction where you pop into that room and facilitate with the students help them with that activity in that particular breakout room. Then once you finish with that room, then you pop over to another room and help them with another activity you got going on, and so forth and so on until everybody has rotated through those rooms and through those activities. Okay, and then they come back into the main room and they report, and y'all have discussions and what have you. Or you may evaluate them through assessments and things of that nature. Okay, so you can really, through this model, you can really have some dynamic things going on in your class, especially with the hybrid going on. But again, the technology is the equalizer. Okay, and if and I think that's a good deal. All the students having access to the Chromebooks is really a necessity in order for all this to work. And the Chromebooks have to be working. Here's another diagram of Bloom's, and this is how it relates to Bloom's. So you have, after class is over, you have the student is evaluating and creating. During class, they are applying and analyzing. And before class, they are remembering and understanding. Okay, so before class, you give them some information. You might throw a video of your lesson, pre-lesson, and you give them the assignment to look at the video and answer some questions. So that forced them to start thinking about things before you even have direct live instruction on the topic. Okay, so they're remembering and they're understanding here. Then during class, you may have them come in and you have some activities that will engage them and have them apply what they have seen so far. And then they look at it and then they analyze what they have done via those activities. Then after class is over, you might give them another exit activity where they're evaluating and they're creating some things on their own based on what they learn. Okay, so this is how you take hybrid and you associate it with Bloom. So you see how it can relate to Bloom's taxonomy. And here's another one there, similar. Then here's some how to create successful hybrid learning environment. You have some recommendations here. Set your semester goals, map it out, determine which course objectives are best served. for these different activities, and so forth. One of the main things they recommend also is make sure that you have a learning plan in place. Put all this stuff down on paper, and plan it all out before you implement with the students, which we all do anyway. And some tips up here: don't be afraid to redesign, use online work, provide mobile learning options, be open to feedback. Don't overload on online assignments. So you don't want to overload on that, but at the same time, that's not saying don't overload on direct instruction or live instruction. You want to kind of mix it up. You don't want to be on there talking too long either, but at the same time, you don't want to not talk at all. You need to balance that out. Integrate the online and the in-person. So these are just some quick tips there that you can look at. Here's some more: embrace your hybrid community. Explain the purpose of your hybrid class. Provide students with self and time management tips, and connect your students to a trusted IT hotline. So in other words, they got to have support for the technology. So you as a teacher need to be on top of what that looks like in terms of, the schedule for the help center, where they have to go and get their Chromebooks service, when the TSA is going to be in the building, when Jamie is going to be in here, those types of things. Okay. And also, where I am and what I do, and, how to get a hold of me if you need to, because even when Jamie's not here, or, I have all that information. So if you point them in my direction, I can get them what they need. All right, here in terms of course design, you have, and I've said this before, that in Canvas, you should have a modular course design, online assignments and some tests. You want to have some discussion groups, as well as recorded video and activities using LTI tools such as Google Apps, Nearpod, Flipgrid. You always want to integrate some of those activities in there too, just to mix it up a little bit. Okay, the last piece, my last 5 minutes. All right, I'm going back to modules in the course. And what I want to show you is there's some of these resources here that I put here for you, not only for hybrid, but it's also to help you to evaluate kind of where you are in terms of your virtual teaching. So here's a video that I've got off of YouTube that gives teachers some tips for hybrid learning. So you can look at that when you get a chance after tomorrow or sometime tomorrow. Here's the CCPS Hybrid Learning Guide, all right here, what they recommend. And you can see high school is right here. So there's some information there. Then you have, and this is taken from the summer information and from the getting to the starting line information from the summer. But this is the checklist for K-12 ready courses. So you really need to go back to that and look at these things. You can ignore step one unless you have already cross-listed your courses. I'm not pushing that, but for those of you who've been looking at that, there's information there about how to cross list. But these are the steps that you really need to look at to make sure that your courses follow these 5 steps. Okay, well, not 5, but 7 steps, of course. Okay, all right, and let's see next. Now, this one right here, I think is real good, and I would encourage everybody to look at this video here about the module planning sheet. So every time you plan a module or to add a module to your Canvas course, this video will demonstrate how to do that using this form. And I put a link to this form in here. Okay, so you have your module name, and then you will circle the item that you're addressing, whether it's going to be assignment, a quiz, a file page, whatever it is in Canvas, and name what the resources are. And then for item 2, item 3, and so forth in that module, what that module is going to contain. And then once you, again, all that links to that will be right here in this course. I'm going to share that out. Okay. Everything will be in one place. All right. And then down here is a kind of like a decision matrix where you can, you start off at the top. Will students be interacting, submitting, replying, etc., with this item? And then depending on yes or no, you follow that out, and it'll kind of recommend what type of activity you want to use for that particular topic. Okay, so this is real good. I really encourage y'all to use this when you are putting modules together. All right, and I'm about through, y'all. All right, this is the course evaluation checklist. So you can go through this once you have your courses on, good to go in your opinion, in your expert opinion, and you can look at these, go through these items and check off to see if your course meet these conditions here. So this will all be in the course, and you can go through this and use it to revamp your course, add things to it, take things off, modify, what have you. Okay, but this is good stuff right here. All right, and let's see. All right, this is the rubric for the walkthroughs that the admin are doing. And again, I just bring your attention to the Canvas piece up here on the technology when you look at it and look at this. Look at the technology piece. All right, and then here's some questions here in the discussion that I put in here that you can feel free when you get access to the course. You can look at these questions and try to reply to them. And if you have a little problem with those, you can contact me and we can go over some of them together so that you be on the same page or be on the right page. All right. Okay, so the last piece, and this is the last piece for real, is one good example of a way to bring out hybrid learning is through PBL. How many people have done PBL in your comings and going as a teacher? Project-based learning. Okay, so I did a session, did that session over the summer as part of summer PD, and I brought those modules over into this course so that you will have access to the resource in case you want to look at doing some of that. Okay, I'm not going to take the time to go over right now, but there's one item that I want to show you real quick. Let's see, I think it's this one. Okay, so this is a good example right here of using Canvas to modify an assignment. So, for example, in this assignment here, this is on racial bias in schools. All right, there are three things that the teacher is trying to get out to the students. One is they're going to go to this link here, and they're going to go to these three articles, and they're going to fill out this table. Okay. Then once they do that, and they're going to submit that somehow to the teacher. It's a Google Doc. They're going to submit it somehow to the teacher. Okay. Then there's the Open Mind Reflection Journal, where down here, the student will be able to click on that, and when it comes up, they'll be able to type into the document and type in their journal right here. Okay. And then once they submit it, it will go into the SpeedGrader. So that's using the Google Doc Cloud assignment. Okay. And then you have Flipgrid. So they have to go and record a Flipgrid. Okay. So you have three things that they need to do in all in one assignment. Now, the way I would modify this assignment is to break this read and take notes piece out and put that into a separate assignment, and use the Google Doc Cloud assignment to deliver it to the students. The Open Mind Reflection, I would leave it the same, and then the Flipgrid I would break out into a separate assignment all in Canvas. And that way, when the students do all three, they will all come into SpeedGrader, and then you can go ahead and evaluate them. It's all in SpeedGrader. So I left that the way it is, just to illustrate, how to take an assignment and modify it to work better for you as part of hybrid. Okay, so that's it. I'm done. I'm over my 5 minutes over, but I think I did okay. Do you have any questions, comments, or concerns about anything that I've gone over? Look like I lost a couple people, but that's not bad.
I do have some questions, but I think we talked about me waiting until after, like hanging back a little bit.
That's fine. That's fine. Anybody else have any questions?
I'm just wondering where we go for the walkthrough information.
Again, I will have everything in this course that I'm about to share out tomorrow. So you will have access to all of these documents in the course.
Sorry, crying baby. I couldn't even hear your response. I apologize.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Did you? Okay, so what I said was all of this information will be in the course that I'm about to share out tomorrow.
Oh, okay. That's great. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Will that be shared through like Gmail, Dr. Waller?
Yeah, I will send an email out with the link, and you just click on the link to enroll, and that'll bring you in.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else? All right. Well, I appreciate everybody showing up, and hopefully this information will help, especially with hybrid, because that's what we all need to be thinking about now. Whenever they bring cohort 4 in, if they bring cohort 4 in, we're gonna have to be on top of it. Okay. And when I share this course out, that doesn't mean that it's all over with as far as I'm concerned. I'm gonna be flowing stuff through that course, and we're gonna be revisiting some things that I've gone over today. So it's gonna be an ongoing process, evolving. Okay. All right. But if y'all don't have anything else, y'all have a good one, and I'll catch up with you all over the week.